think we're going to get started just because I know that some of you are in class right now, and we don't want to take too much of that, and we want to make sure we have enough time for the student organizations to present. As we get started, I'm just curious if I can get a show of hands. So how many first year students do we have in the room? A couple. Welcome. I know that many of the first year students have a class somewhere else, and that's why they're not here. Sophomores? Juniors? Sure, congratulations. Seniors? Yeah! All right, and then how about transfer students? Brand new transfer students, welcome. Any transfer student then, okay, welcome. And how about if we run down by discipline? So interiors, which I saw they're all here. Industrial design, couple of you, thank you for coming, we appreciate it. Transportation design, you guys have them beat, how about that? Game design, all together back there. Graphic design, kind of clumpy. And then architecture? Did I forget any of them? Interiors, I think I got everyone, right? Okay, so we've got a little bit of a packed program because we do want to support our student orgs and have each of the student orgs come up and share what they're doing. I have a couple of other announcements to share at the beginning, but before I do that, I wanted to introduce our president, our brand new president, right? Well, you haven't been inaugurated yet either, so the president wanted to come and welcome all of you.
Thank you so much, thank you. I guess we're dominated by juniors and architecture students, right? I mean, in this room for now, so. Anyway, as Carl mentioned, I am a junior myself. This actually is my third year at Lawrence Tech. I was here for the first 1.5 years as a provost, and I started this new job as president on January 1st. You've made an amazing decision to join LTU, for all of you, whether it was 1 year ago, 2 years ago, or 3 years ago. For the first year students who are here, I think you might have heard me at Convocation. Your choice was truly exquisite. You have joined a very unique institution. Lawrence Technological University is one of 13 technological, doctoral, and private universities in the whole country. And that number in the whole country is 6,000 institutions of higher education. So you have truly chosen an elite institution to further your studies at the undergraduate level. Congratulations on your decision. And I know the outcomes will be amazing. The last couple of years, Lawrence Tech has enjoyed the highest starting salaries amongst graduates of every single institution in the state of Michigan, both private and public, on the average. And our employment percentage edges close to 100%. As many of you here probably know, especially the seniors, our students get job offers before they graduate. In most other institutions, a measure of success of an institution is the percentage of students who get a job within 6 months of graduation. Lawrence Tech, we have the other problem. We struggle to keep our students till they graduate because they get job offers before that. You made an amazing choice. I'm sure the future is going to be bright for all of you. We have amazing faculty in the School of Architecture that we're very proud of. Very involved in the practice, and amazing teachers and advisors, researchers and scholars. You have great leadership in your chairs and in your dean, and we want to make sure that you succeed. Welcome to LTU, and welcome for the sophomores and juniors and seniors to a new year and a new academic year. Have fun, enjoy yourselves. You're going to have an amazing experience, and this campus will have, I promise you, lots of very cool events going forward during this academic year. Welcome, and thank you all very much. Thank you.
was doing the math. If you're a junior, that makes me a super senior.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a sixth year senior now.
First year medicine.
So many of you have seen this before, but I think it's always worth reiterating some of these things. Maybe it makes more sense for first year students who haven't seen this. But as the president said, we've done really well in the college in terms of incoming classes. And so based on the way that we've been talking about the relationship between design, practice, and being at a technological university, our enrollment continues to grow and grow and grow, which all of you have been part of that. And so it is this connection with practice. And I was also just curious, I was taking a show of hands before, how many people have part-time jobs while they're in school in the industry? In the industry first, okay. And those of you that have part-time jobs while you're in school that aren't yet in the industry, okay? Because I saw those hands go up fast, that's good. Anybody have a full-time job already before they graduate? Full-time, part-time, what does that mean? Okay. But that's all just to reiterate exactly what the president just said, is that many of our students are working in their fields before they even graduate. And I think this comes back to us being at a technological university that really does care about practice and a professional degree. So just to reiterate some of these things that I think are always worth mentioning, we continue to work on the website for the college. One, in terms of sharing your work, the work that you're doing, but also to add resources. So we continue to put things on there related to scholarships, related to things like the lecture series, other things that are happening. So continue to go back to it as a touch point to find out what's going on. A little bit on, so the president also just mentioned that we're gonna have a lot of great and fun activities this year on campus. A lot of that has to do with an idea of coming out of, or kind of starting to emerge from a pandemic as things maybe start to normalize. And so studio culture is a big part of that. We continue to look for different ways to organize the studio spaces, to do other types of things. Many of you know, and maybe some of you are just getting used to this. Some of you were in high school when the pandemic started, and you may not be used to what a really strong studio culture might be. The moment that your faculty leave the studio doesn't mean that the learning stops. And so you can learn an immense amount of things, probably good and bad, from your classmates and your peers. But all those, I can remember to my own time in school, all of the conversations, discussions, debates that occurred in the studio late at night, right? And not that I'm condoning or saying that you always have to work late at night. I don't love all-nighters. I actually detest them. But there is a lot to be said for being in the studio space. And so everyone should have a desk in a studio. The way that you build that culture might be through student orgs that we'll talk about. It might be within the specific studio that you're in, or it might just be in a space that's shared or other things that happen. And so look for ways to continue to build that. The other thing that I wanted to add though too about maybe, I know that we're still in the pandemic, but as we maybe emerge from a pandemic, that I would say, first I wanted to thank the faculty who were incredibly accommodating and nimble during the pandemic and being able to support our students. So you could do that or that, either way is fine. And now, maybe as we normalize things, the faculty also have a number of other responsibilities. And so where they were incredibly accommodating before, because we do care about your well-being and we were worried about what was happening as we had to shift things, I do want to, like we've had a discussion with the faculty and with the administration, that not that we'll be unaccommodating, but that kind of ability to accommodate certain things is going to shift. And the reason is because where before it was very easy, oh, maybe I'll just meet on Zoom, maybe I'll do this, maybe I'll do that. We want to again support studio culture. We want to support peer-to-peer learning. And we're excited to be back in the building. And so you might start to sense some of those shifts. Well, the last couple years I was able to do this. Some of those accommodations may start to go away. And the reason for that is because we want to support the culture within the design studios. right? To try and have everyone here, to have you interacting and doing those types of things. And so we'll continue to craft what that looks like and what it means, but I think it's worth mentioning. We have some new faculty joining us this semester as well. Taka just saw his big face up on the screen. So Taka is joining us. I don't know if Danielle is in the room. That's Danielle. She's joining from graphic design, and she'll be teaching a number of classes, one of which is design leadership this semester. We have a number of adjuncts that are joining us. This is the group from the design department. Anyone here from this group? This is the architecture adjuncts, some of whom are here. One, maybe a few, two. So we continue to bring in new faculty. Thank you for joining us. There were a lot of architecture hands that went up in the room today. One of the things that many of the faculty are involved with this semester is our accreditation. Accreditation is a big part of any institution that believes in professional design or professional practice. And so as students, you may hear about these things happening. We do have a visit coming, but they're not coming in person. So we'll see to what extent. It used to be the case that when there was an accreditation, there were exhibitions, there were all sorts of things happening. I think we are collecting some work this year, and you'll hear about some of the activities related to accreditation. Please be supportive of that. We all need the accreditation, especially if you want to be licensed as an architect. That's a big part of this. This is something that Dale shared with me maybe a couple weeks ago. I think Detroit continues to be an incredibly exciting place to be practicing as a designer. This is, that question about how many of you are working. This is another, maybe different metric outside of the design disciplines, but one that we all benefit from. And so Detroit was ranked #1 in emerging startup ecosystem. So this is great for jobs, this is great for technology, this is great on a number of things. The next slide is what I thought it was. Sponsored studios is something that many of you have been able to be involved in. These two things are related. The more that's happening in Detroit and in the area related to startups and booming and emerging businesses, this is really good. Sponsored classes and sponsored studios are a way that we can bring in specialists, we can bring in additional experience and expertise, and often real-world projects. The other things that's nice is we've started to build a culture around these, and we've started to build our own confidence in these things. So it's not just that there's an outside project, it's that someone is paying to interact with our faculty and students. And that's nice for us because it allows us to support, whether that be materials or travel or other types of things within the studio. And so some of you, this is the list from last semester. I think we've got 2 or 3 running this semester, and we plan to continue to scale this up. One of the things that we've introduced, and some of these things are kind of large scale, some of them small scale, the university has just changed something within Canvas that allows you to set your pronoun in Canvas. And so that if this is something that you're mindful of and watching, there's probably, it should be very clear, it's just under settings, and it allows you to enable this and to set your pronouns within there. So it's nice for discussion groups, it's nice for other interactions that you have within your class. There's been some facilities changes over the course of the summer. I want to thank, I don't know if any of the interior students that helped in the materials lab are here. They were here this weekend, right, setting it up. So the photograph on the right is the material library before everything got moved back in this weekend. So thank you. Another example of the culture of the students taking on different initiatives and working to set that up. The West Wing, as we're calling it, has an active learning classroom, an interior studio down there, and game design is now located in the 2nd floor of the West Wing. Underneath that, we cleaned out the lower level space, and furniture and millwork is going to be in there this semester. It's a very rough space, knowing the type of work that's going to happen there, with an idea that that will also be renovated at some point soon. So you can watch for these types of new spaces. The colorful small rooms in the West Wing can be used just as hot desk spaces or meeting spaces. The other thing that's changed, if anyone saw the courtyard outside, we had 55 graduate students come to campus this summer, and they worked for 8 weeks remotely and came from all over the world for 1 week to build this project that you see there, which is kind of retaining wall, bench, and planter that was all 3D printed with the robot that you see on the left with Citizen Robotics. And so check that out. The other nice thing that happens is that if you leave A210, it's not like falling off of a gangplank out of a pirate ship. There is a ramp now, and it just kind of, you won't get hurt falling out of there. We continue to share student work, both internally and with the rest of the world. And so Show LTU CoAD was updated at the end of last year with the student show. And so you can see new student work on there and continue to point students or others to the website, especially if your work is there. And then a few technology upgrades and technology opportunities that we have. I think this is a really nice place to be learning, where we can introduce new technologies. You can explore these. And we had an example this summer where Jacob Smith, who I'm sure is not here right now, is working or just graduated. He was working with Gravity Sketch, and he invited Albert Kahn and Associates, like a whole range of people from the leadership down to others within the company, to come and demo that technology. And so I hold that up as a really nice example where one of our students is leading the integration of new technology within his firm. And so I see all of you being able to do some of those types of things. On the right-hand side, we can see some work that happened this summer of developing a clay extruder for the robots. And then the other thing well, I think there's no transportation designers in the room unless they came late, but in conversations with a company that wants to donate a clay mill, which is this piece of equipment here, which will be moved downstairs next to where the clay studio is. And so continuing to try and bring new technology, new tools and resources that you wouldn't be able to have on your own, but you can make use of when you're at a university. Other things at a kind of smaller scale, starting to work with, let's see if this works, other types of tools, a VR 3D camera, and so that you'll be able to, going on site visits, going into other places. This is just a video that's on YouTube, but it allows you to interact and look all around you. So if you've had an instance where you took a photograph, but you really wish you saw something just outside of the frame, shooting video with this camera allows you to spin that and look around and see what that looks like. This is something that can be checked out. And then I included this, Philip. I know it's not for everyone, but we have a really good relationship with Gravity Sketch. They sent us a palette of Quest 2 headsets, which are going to be deployed this year. I know in the first year in drawing, design, and geometry. And what's the second class?
So we're just changed. The strategy
just changed
slightly. We're going to deploy them this semester in the GM-funded studio, which is including transportation design, interior design, and industrial design. And while we're doing that, we're training up our faculty and our first-year graphic instructors, and then it'll get deployed into the second semester drawing, design, geometry class. So every first-year student will have a VR headset for the semester in that class.
In that class.
Yeah. You want to retake the class? You get a Quest 2 and jelly beans. So we'll give you a headset and a package of candy. You want to take the class?
The other thing too, while that's a nice palette of brand new headsets, we do have probably about 50 Oculus Rift S headsets that can be checked out through the main library. You used to be able to check them out in the lower level here, but we've moved them to the main library because the main library has better hours. And so when you want to check that out, you can just go out, and it's the same thing as like checking out a book on reserve. You can check out a headset. We're running a few focus groups and other types of things this year. So one last semester, we ran a listening session on diversity, equity, and inclusion. We call it a CoAD listening session. We're going to be doing that as well this semester. We're also reaching out to Black alumni from the college to engage them as an advisory board and talk to them about how we message them, how we work with social media with them, and other types of things. And then the other thing that I'm running, I did this a couple years ago and then it went away, but I want to bring it back. Have you ever had a less than ideal experience on campus? Raise your hands.
Yeah.
Well, it's either. So, faculty too. This is not for faculty. I would like to reinstitute what I was calling the Dean's Council of Angry Students. And if you are selected, if you're really angry and you have a lot of things to say, listen, we try and create a culture of critique, right? We need criticism in order to get better. And so what this means is a monthly meeting, and I know you won't, even the angriest of students won't come unless I pay for lunch. And so if you're part of the Dean's Council of Angry Students, you will have lunch once a month with me, and we'll talk through some of those issues and we'll see if we can find some solutions. So watch for an email about that, and we'll reinstitute that working group this year. I think the problem was that getting lunch once a month made everyone less angry, and that's why the group didn't continue anymore. Not very good lunch. Yeah, we're going to provide a mediocre lunch, and we'll see if that works better. We have a really good lecture series coming up this semester. This is our first lecture, which is going to be on, I think, August 30th. Arturo Tedeschi, who's a computational designer, works in architecture, works in shoe design, and works in automotive. And so it's a multidisciplinary topic around technology and design. Some of the other lectures, here's a list of them. We're trying to get faculty to include the lectures as part of some of your coursework. So you might, by attending a lecture, you may be able to get some attendance points or other types of things. These are slowly making their way onto the website because we're confirming dates and other types of things. But take a look at that. They'll be there. Some of these others are yet to be confirmed, but we're excited about being able to do these things. And that's another moment where the studio culture, the culture of the school, being able to attend a lecture and be part of these discussions is a really important thing. And again, what we started doing last year, a majority of these lectures will occur on Tuesdays from 12:30 to 2, because none of you have class during that time. And we were also providing pizza last year. And so even if the person's lecturing remotely, we will still have a room where a group of people can watch the lecture from there and eat some pizza. We have other exhibits happening. This year we've got some students. Any students involved in, you didn't let me finish. So we have some students and some faculty showing work at the Ford House as part of the Detroit Month of Design. More information is, well, this is on our website now, so be sure to check that out and see if you can find your way over to the Ford House to check out the work. We've got some workshops happening this year, and so we've got, let's see, maybe if I jump. So we've been trying to work more and more. I read, and many of us read, the graduating student surveys, and we talk to you, and things like the Angry Student Council talks about that we don't do enough to help you find jobs. I think we do a number of things to help you find jobs, and I just want to continue to be explicit about what those things are. Those networking opportunities that student orgs run, that's an opportunity to find a job as part of networking. The career services group, of which we're building a stronger relationship with the career services group, is another way to help all of you and to support all of you in terms of finding a job. So this semester, what we're doing on September 15th, during that blackout period, I assume the 15th is on a Tuesday, but there's a career and interview preparedness workshop. So this is to work with people to help get you prepared for a career services interaction and to be able to interview for those things. So please take advantage of it. Even if you already have a job, it's worthwhile to learn about these things. And so, and your next job may come from an interaction that you have with this. So take advantage of these things. On September 29th is the in-person career fair through Career Services. So you can see on the 15th, we want to prep you for that. On the 29th is that. I think some of the student orgs are going to run some workshops. The other workshop that we wanted to run is, I don't know if anyone else's Instagram feed is like mine, but on a certain day in July, all of a sudden everything turned to Mid-Journey and everything started to be generated with artificial intelligence, right? This is something, technology continues to move faster and faster. For anyone that hasn't seen that, you've probably been seeing some artificial intelligence generated images and you didn't know it, right? This happened almost overnight, and we want to run a workshop to introduce Mid-Journey. And so I think Philip and I have been talking about running this to look at storyboarding and using Mid-Journey to do that. And so we haven't set a date yet, but this will be sometime in mid-September.
Woohoo! I'm super
Philip's
excited
excited
about going to the workshop.
So watch for that, and if you haven't seen those things, it's worth checking them out. So we talked about career services. I think this is my last slide, but it's another moment for networking. And so I don't know if, is there anyone in the room that's attended the design retreat before? You did? When? When? Okay, cool. So one. So the design retreat, I would love, so there's maybe friendly competition, sometimes unfriendly competition between different institutions. Given our connection with the profession, and this is architecture, I know it's architecture skewed for this, the Michigan AIA runs an annual design retreat. And so this is September 16th and 17th, and there's probably 8, 10, 12 presentations of award-winning firms in the area. M1DTW, Progressive AE, they're from Los Angeles, HKS, Smith Group, N-Space Architects, Inform Ply, and Lowell Metz Architecture. And so each of them, it's at a camp in mid-Michigan, in the Thumb maybe. And each firm presents their work, and it's in a really informal setting. There's really informal ways where people hang out and talk about these things. I know students that we've had before that have gone and gotten jobs just from their interactions with talking with people there and being around and being part of that. So if you want to attend, reach out to me. There's a cost for students, but we can also, it's $70. There are some that are subsidized, and we can also subsidize some of that too. So if this is something that you want to be part of, it's a really great weekend. And I think one of our students will be presenting their comprehensive design project there as well, because the AIA wants to support students and wants to have more students there. And so let me know if you're interested in attending, and we can make that happen. All right, so with that, we'll talk about some resources, and then we'll move into the student groups as well. This here.
Hey everyone. Welcome back. For the new folks, I'm Jeff Evergreen. I'm the Director of Labs for the College of Architecture and Design. I'm most likely found up in the print lab, but I also spend a lot of time in the build lab, which is on our lower level. I'd like to introduce some of our key staff members to you today. Not all of whom are here in attendance. I'm not sure, maybe I'm the only one. It's all right. I'd like to introduce Anna Hansa Orgren. She'll be joining me as the new imaging specialist in the print lab. Anna is joining us from the Cranbrook Sculpture Department and also the Cranbrook Art Museum. She's a fine artist working in video and other formats. Also, Bill Canning is our build lab manager. And Aaron Keast is our fabrication specialist, returning again this year. In the Build Lab, we've got 2 courses which will have a reserve on the space. On Tuesdays and Thursdays from 3 to 5 p.m. we've got Casting and Construction with Holly Roddenberry. And on Wednesdays from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. we have our furniture and millwork classes. Well, it's 1 class with 2 sections. It's going to be a busy day, so during those times the space is reserved. However, we want to emphasize that we have pretty broad hours, and mornings are very often a good time to come in and get things done. It's usually the slowest time of day, so if you need to get some laser cutting done, come in early. As far as procedure for using digital fabrication things, laser cutter especially, it's kind of a first come, first serve basis. Come and talk to a staff member, including upstairs in the print lab. If you need help setting up on the software side, I'm available, and many of our print lab staff as well are knowledgeable in the software, and we can help get you started. We prefer to answer some of those digital questions upstairs rather than in the Build Lab space where it's not as well set up for, you know, spending time on computers. Some things that we've been doing in the print lab include, or in the Build Lab include just incremental improvements with tools, setting up the space a little bit better, focus on robotics, and there's new steam bending capabilities that have been developed for this year for our interior design students. When you come to the Build Lab, please bring your ID with you. This just helps us to track usage patterns and understand when it's most important for us to have staff members there. And also, when you come, make sure you're paying attention to what you're wearing. Don't wear sandals. If you're wearing something like a sweatshirt, make sure you tuck any kind of dangly pieces back, tie your hair, all that kind of good stuff. The print lab hours are also the same as they were in the past, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Thursday, 10 to 5 on Fridays. And just as a reminder, check the website for information. Like, my contact information is on the website, as well as information about all of our services, how to add printers. If you got a newly re-imaged laptop and you need to add your printers, those instructions are online, as well as an updated link for PaperCut. Thankfully, we don't have to do that this connection is private workaround thing. We actually have a proper security certificate now. Hallelujah. Some updated prices. I'm sorry, I did have to raise the prices on a couple of things, but not terribly, so it was coming, you know it was. And we're excited to have 2 additional 3D printers to start the year, and maybe some more coming later on in the year. I think that's it for me. Yeah. Thank you. Welcome back.
When? Okay, so we'll start with, we'll start. Let's start with interior design. And just generally, this is because a group has to leave for a sponsored project again. The other thing, we are doing this because we want to promote involvement in student organizations. This is really important for the culture, it's important for peer-to-peer learning, and it's also really great ways to get leadership experience in a student organization. So I'll start with you guys. Thank you.
Thanks, AIS. Appreciate. I'm Amelia. I'm the president of IIDA, which is the International Interior Design Association on campus. And this is Shelby, she's our vice president. I'm gonna click it. So why IIDA? We're a professional organization on campus, and our main goal is to help students during their academic career. We are a national organization, but we work mostly through our Michigan headquarters. They offer a lot of events like design competitions where there's some prizes involved, as well as some networking events that we've gone to in the past, which helps with those professional connections. We also have some NCIDQ help, and for those of you who don't know what that is, that's a licensing exam for interior students. I really encourage you guys checking this out because it is a reimbursement process, and it's a good chunk of money, so the fact that they're offering that is really great. We're also introducing students to professionals in the area. So once again, those networking opportunities. We go to some events. We went to a gala recently. We got to get all fancied up and share some good food with some cool people. We also work out of state. So there's a mentorship program that we offer. More information on that if anyone has any questions. But yeah, we can talk about that. And then in turn, that gets students internships. So the design community, especially interiors, it's as simple as saying, hello, my name is, and then kind of speaking a little bit about yourself. People are really drawn to that, and that's how you get jobs in this industry. We're also hoping to really collaborate with other organizations on campus this year. We know that design is not just subjective to like our own discipline. We can pull ideas from each other, so we're hoping to continue maintaining these really great relationships with other orgs. And then making friends on the way. Our organization is not limited to just interior design students. If you guys have talent in interiors and your architecture, we will welcome you with open arms. Same for like game design or graphic design. And we encourage you guys to come to all of our events. All of our events are open. The headquarters, however, those are those private events that would be exclusively for IIDA members. And then besides all of the professionalism, we do coordinate some really fun trips. For example, just this past summer, we went to NeoCon. And for those of you who don't know what that is like the most well-known commercial interior design event in the nation, and that's in Chicago. And we just made a week's trip out of that. We went to NeoCon, got to check it out, got to meet professionals, but then we also had some fun time by ourselves and seen lots of smiles about that. So that was super cool. And then just to update you guys, we're really working on supporting you so that we can kind of get the message across of what our events are. Right now, we're working primarily through Instagram, so I would strongly recommend that you follow us, LTU_IIDA. We're rolling out this new thing where we're making calendars before the month starts so that you can black out those dates in case that you want to join us for any of these events. And we're also open, like our DMs are open, so if anyone has any questions, we'll let you know who's talking to you and we'll answer that for you. And we have a bunch of other stuff too. You see the NeoCon, if you want to check that out, what that might look like, go ahead. And then just to let you guys know some upcoming events. We're planning to do some welcome coffee in the CoAD Lounge on Wednesday. It'll be first come, first serve, so I can't guarantee that everybody will get everything. But we'll have like a sign-up sheet for anyone who's interested in possibly joining our organization there. And then feel free to ask us questions there as well. And then lastly, our new members meeting will be on the 30th at 7 p.m. in our studio. I know that some of us are commuters, so we will probably be doing a Zoom link as well, but it's just good to match a face to a name. And then, this isn't on here, but in September, I know there's not a lot of freshmen here, but for the freshmen' sake, we wanted to do a sketching workshop because we're dealing a lot with iterative sketching during our freshman year, so we're planning to roll that out. The date is to be determined since there was a lot of September dates thrown out on there. So just keep that in the back of your mind. And I'm gonna hand it off to Shelby.
Who else has to go to GM? To present or?
No, he's interiors. It was just this last slide.
So we have found a lot of interest coming from you guys already about IIDA, and if you did want to join, there's a QR code right there. You can scan it right now. You can take a picture of it, so if you want to scan and do it later, you can. But it is $60 a year, and that's literally $5 a month. That's like if you went out and got a coffee or, I don't know, a Happy Meal from McDonald's. If $5 a month to do this is really a lot of opportunity for you guys, and it's just really cool. I know my freshman year I was really nervous to join, but then I ended up doing it anyways because I wanted to be involved with something, and it's probably turned out to be one of the best things that I've ever done. I've gotten to meet some really cool people, and we've got to do a lot, and it's not only professional as we do keep it professional, but we still have those moments that we interact with each other and we just have a good time. So if you need anything, you can ask Amelia or I. You can email us at what is it? IDA stuff there. I don't know. Anyway, or you can message us on Instagram. So,
Thank you. Any questions? How about Noma?
Go to the national. The Michigan, so I'm actually on the board for Michigan IADA in our domain. It has an issue right now, so if you are interested, go to the national level IADA and you can register for that.
Or join us on the 30th and we can give you guys all the link there. It's be on Zoom or in our studio.
Right, TD, ID, and interiors together.
And there's a group leaving for a sponsored studio meeting at General Motors this afternoon. Anyone here from NOMA? No one has answered our emails. This is an important part of student orgs. Roxana is the faculty advisor, but all student orgs should be thinking about who takes over next year so that things like this don't happen. We did that. AIGA.
Hello everybody, my name is Isabel Fiore. I am a senior in the graphic design program. Up here I have my e-board, so we have Dan Cook and Cody McPeak, and then Nicole is somewhere in the crowd. Basically, AIGA is the American Institute of Graphic Artists, also known as the Professional Association for Design. A little bit more about us is that we represent a diverse body of multidisciplinary designers. It's part of the local chapter of AIGA Detroit, which means that we have a lot of networking opportunities to connect with graphic designers, not only with the Detroit chapter, but nationally also, because we are affiliated with that professional organization. We establish relationships between designers and non-designers, so we're looking to work with both clients and non-designers and other people on campus just to build a community and really get everybody connected. And then we also encourage comfort and creativity in the work environment. So just building up our skills, teaching you how to be creative, ask for advice, get criticism, all of that good stuff. Some of our goals this year for our LTU chapter is building a community of creatives. Something that I've realized since I've been at LTU is that I just haven't seen a lot of people connecting outside of their own studios for graphic design. We see them in classes and then we don't see you anywhere else. So we want to bring that studio space back and really just be able to connect with each other beyond that point. We want to do that through offering a safe space for growth and skill development, doing some workshops, working on introducing different softwares to people, whether you're part of graphic design or design in general. We want to help build that skill set for you. Again, creating networking opportunities. And also something we talked about doing was just studio nights. So a night where we can all gather, hang out in the studio, get to know each other, talk, get feedback, etc. And so with that, we encourage you to join us. You can scan that QR code over there in the bottom corner, or add us on Instagram to just get some updates. And then our first meeting is this week, this Thursday, August 25th at 4:40 p.m. in T315, which is the graphic design studio. So we hope to see you there. Just come, join. Let us know what ideas you guys want to do this year, and if we can help give you some more information about our org.
Infinite Machine.
I'm Maggie, and this is Alex. We are the co-leads for Infinite Machine. And Infinite Machine, our main goal is to build a fun community gaming community on campus. So if you are in the game design or computer science, the game focus majors, you should absolutely come on by and meet everybody else who's in the majors. But it's also open to everybody, because that's our goal, is to just make a fun community and a place for everyone to kind of relax and get to know everyone. So if you want to go to the next. So our meetings are going to be on Fridays at 8 p.m. It'll be in the new game design studio space in the West Wing. There's going to be an announcement set out later today about just like exact times and everything for our meetings. We also do, for any like game design people, kind of unofficial meetings on Tuesdays. If there's projects that you need help on, it's where a bunch of the upperclassmen are, where you can go and ask for help and get opinions, advice on what you're working on. Alright, so this is a link to the Game Dev Discord server. If you check out the Infinite Machine channel, we'll have the announcements there on when all of our events are. Or you can contact me or Alex on Discord or through email if you have any questions. But yeah, our main goal, we have a lot of like fun events planned this semester with just gaming. And then if you like tabletop RPGs, we have like miniature painting nights, we have board game nights, things like that. And then we also do, for the game design majors, GDC, which is a big game convention. We're trying to get like a yearly like fundraisers and thing going to send students to GDC. We're good.
Hello and welcome. I am Matthew Schott. I am the Vice Chair from IDSA, the Industrial Design Society for America. And we are really heavily focused on student-to-student and student-to-professional engagement. Last year we had a couple of guest speakers from Sundberg & Farrar, a Detroit-based design firm, and also from Nike come and speak to us via Zoom. We also did, if you can go to the next slide, a visit to Steelcase's headquarters out in Grand Rapids. In addition to this, we also do student-to-student lectures, like I've taught a couple of CAD classes. We've had a few members who have taught sketching, Photoshop rendering, and whatnot for industrial design and transportation design purposes. And largely, we're just all about building studio culture and building studio knowledge bases. So anybody in here from industrial design, transportation design, interiors, anyone with a focus in furniture, millwork, or any of those other fabrication-oriented professions, you are more than welcome to join us. We are still kind of working out when we're going to be meeting, but at the same time, we're taking anybody who's interested. So you can reach out to either myself or the current chair, Stelina Vukai, using our LTU emails, phone, or you can also reach out to us at our Instagram at LTU_IDSA. Thank you very much.
Hello. I'm Trevor Worthman. I am a third year here in the architecture program, and I am also the president of Lawrence Tech's chapter of the American Institute of Architecture students. And this is Allison Clark, all the same credentials, vice president. So the AIS is an independent, nonprofit, student-run organization dedicated to advancing leadership, design, and service among architecture students, which I took right off the website, so I hope that sounds good. But what that means for you is that as a local chapter to a national organization, you get basically benefits in twofold. Organizationally, the AIS represents the unanimous voice of architecture students and advocates for their best interests, both culturally and professionally. So that's what you get from the national level, and at a local level, we do a lot of things for you. We are very lucky to be located right down the street from a design city, a city with design in its DNA in Detroit. So it's very important to us to get our students involved in the area. One way we do that is through firm tours. We go downtown and we tour firms. Crazy, right? And from that, you get to meet a lot of great people. You see the physical space in which these professionals work, and again, you start to grow your network, and these things help. They come back and they help you a lot when you're looking for your internships, things that are very important to us because, well, something we offer is actually the spring break internship program, which for anybody who wants to start building up their AXP hours, if you have not heard those letters yet, prepare to hear a lot of it the next few years. But we'll hook you up with a local firm, and they will have you come in and just work with them for a week during spring break. And it's a good time for everybody involved, right? So again, just a bunch of acronyms you got to get used to: ARE, AXP, NCARB. All of that is going to be very intimidating, but the architecture community is very welcoming, and we will always want to support you, and AIES in particular will take every opportunity to help you out there. So again, we offer a lot of great things, from workshops and Freedom by Design, which is an opportunity to go get involved in the community. There's so many things that you can do through this organization, but really the highlight is in the people. We are here to help your transition into college and to help you in your transition from college to the professional workplace. And it's just, the people here are all incredible. So really, come by and meet us. The best places to do this: well, first of all, you can come and see us at the student fair organizations that are happening on Thursday, if you haven't heard about that. 1 o'clock, don't come at noon. But then also that same Thursday, we have our fall kickoff event. It's going to be hopefully in T310. We have not run that by Carl yet, so this is his first time hearing it. We got a nod, that's good. All right. So come by, there's gonna be games, there's gonna be snacks, and we're gonna give you a ton of information. If you don't want to go to that, because for some reason you don't like games and snacks, first of all, I'm worried about you. But second of all, you can come straight to our first general chapter meeting. That is next Wednesday, the 31st, 7 o'clock, hopefully the same room. Again, please, Carl. And this is where we can give you a lot more information. The first one's going to be very casual. We just want to hang out, give you a chance to meet everybody. But the second one, that's when we really start breaking down the things that we're going to be doing this year. And there's a lot, so you're going to want to hear it. I could go on a very long time up here, and I will go on later, but I only got 5 minutes up here, so we're just going to skip and say, come get your information over the next few weeks. It's going to be great. So.
I know it's just for our.
Oh yeah. If you can't go to either of those events but you still are interested in joining AIS, there are a ton of ways to stay in touch with us. You can email us at this email address that you see up there. You can follow us on Instagram. You can reach out to both Allison and myself on email. And from there, you can just keep in touch, and we'll tell you about all the great stuff that we have coming up. There's a lot of it. It's very stressful for us, but it's going to be a lot of fun for you. So please don't make our stress for nothing. Come by. I think that's all I got.
I think that's it for the student orgs. Any questions about anything today? Yes.
Is there a cost for entry into AIAS? Yes. So we will cover that more in the additional meetings, or reach out via email, we'll break them all down. The website we apply on is kind of finicky. It's not the best. It's not our website, so we're working on it, talking with them, trying to get it into a smoother thing. Those are like little hoops you gotta run through. So at our first meeting, we're gonna run through all that, so you guys can get it nice and simple, and you don't accidentally hit the wrong one. There's a lot of options for it all.
Will you get a t-shirt if you join?
T-shirts are going to still be for sale.
Discounted t-shirts.
Discounted t-shirts, they are Philip Colorado approved.
He left already, I guess.